It's ringing. I'm getting beeps.
Hey, there you are.
Hello. How are you?
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Are you also tired, or is Ellie in the car and you're trying not to disturb her or excite her?
Both things.
Both things.
Both things are true.
Okay. Yes. I'll see if I can. Hold on. I am tired, so let me just turn it down. Let me see if I can match your energy. All right, cool. I'm in the road. Cool. I'm pantomiming hands on the wheel. Awesome. What you up to?
Yeah, I'm driving home from my best friend I just said my best friend Connecticut's house, so that's cool. Yeah, I'm driving a motor vehicle with my child in the back, so
yeah,
that's good. Yeah. But we spent a fast 24 hours visiting my best friend and her 6-month-old baby and her dog. And now we're on our way home.
Damn. You know, for a person that often complains about always having too much to do, you sure do just keep choosing to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I do. It's true.
It's true. I
do feel like there's levels of stuff, though. Like,
sure,
seeing your best friend for the first time in 6 months is a little different than obligation, you know?
Hey, man, you and I waited years. She can get in line.
I've seen you more recently than I saw her up to this point.
That's fair. I'll give you that. So you're just you're just picking up the pandemic slack at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No, that makes sense. That's fair. That's fair. I approve. How was your time?
It was really lovely. I'm about to merge onto the Merit, which is a real pain in the ass. So give me one moment. Ooh, we got us a window here, my friends. You gotta take it. All right, cool. Good. We're good to go.
Hell yeah.
The Merit is like everyone drives 70 miles per hour, and the merge lanes have a literal stop sign, and there's no off-ramp. It's just like a Godspeed and good fucking luck.
Oh, man. Literally Godspeed, and if you have to stop, too bad. You're still going Godspeed.
Yeah, if you have a stick shift car, you are SOL.
Oops. So what'd you do for your fast 24 hours?
We mostly just hung out, which was really lovely. So we got there yesterday afternoon. We had already eaten lunch, so we just spent a little bit of time. We wandered outside. They have a puppy, so we took the puppy on a walk, and Eleanor got very excited because there was still snow on the ground.
Ooh.
Which it's all melted by us.
Okay. I take it she likes snow a lot. Okay.
She kind of likes everything. She's just like a big fan of the outdoors, so like anything that's different is exciting.
Yeah, I think I need to check myself before I start trying to judge the interests of a nearly 2-year-old. That's just not fair from me. She doesn't deserve that. Let her enjoy snow.
No, she likes snow. She doesn't have to shovel it. Yeah,
well, I was about to say, I enjoy snow a lot more now that I don't need to drive in it or shovel it or interact with it pretty much at all. The only real snow interactions I have had are taking Odo out onto my balcony while there's snow, and he's like, I'm not going out there now. The fuck is your problem?
Yeah.
I did take him out on our balcony last night, though, and he found a bat in the bushes, and I was like, you're going inside. We are not. Nice. You are too stupid to interface with this creature. You will get hurt. Get inside.
Oh, no. Bat first cat?
Yeah. Cat's first bat? Is that what you were trying to say?
Cat's first bat. No, bat versus cat.
Oh, I thought you said first, not versus. Well, in any bat versus cat,
cat's first bat.
In any Odo versus anything situation, Odo loses. I've had 15 or 16 cats across my entire life since I was a kid at this point. Odo is number one dumbest dumbest cat for sure. I love it. He's a big goofball, but he is not a smart cat. So
you do a lot with looks though, so I get he's probably fine.
He's a very pretty cat. He gets that compliment a lot, so I guess it's true for animals as well that like if you have the privilege of people just saying like, oh, you're pretty, here's all the treats in the world, they might not try as hard, Yeah. That's at least been my experience with Odo. We're being terribly reductive about a lot of people and house pets.
Yes.
Man, so what have you been up to? February, I will say, this last month, time has been
flew by.
totally opposite for me. Longest month
really?
in forever.
Oh my God. I don't even remember February. I don't even remember it happening. It's already over.
It definitely continued the rough streak for 2022 us, for me. Yeah. What's well, I mean, if you barely remember it, that might be nice. I mean, that is the premise of our new favorite show on Apple TV Plus.
Oh, true. By the way, I have not watched this week's episode yet.
I won't say a thing. Severance, anyone listening? Severance on Apple TV Plus.
Real good.
Real good.
Yeah. I mean, I think it just went by. So January, I basically didn't work at all because of COVID and baby stuff and all sorts of things happening. Mm-hmm. That was really stressful. And then in February, work got really busy and I had like 2 Sunday night overnights, which like totally threw off my whole schedule and like everything with being a person. And then I got a stomach flu, and the next day, Ellie and Charles got a stomach flu, and we were all sick there for a couple days. And then the month was over. Like that. And now we're here. I don't know.
I think it was on our last recording is right after I came down with COVID. There have been some developments in terms of understanding the timeline of what happened. The reason it felt so different the second week than the first week is because I was sick with something the first week and then got COVID. So what I thought was 4.5 weeks of COVID was actually 2 sicknesses. And now I'm on the tail end of that same first sickness again. So it's just I went from month of crazy family stuff to month of just nonstop illnesses.
Yeah.
Upside,
Great.
Destiny 2, The Witch Queen came out. Fantastic.
Nice.
Also definitely to blame for my last minute rescheduling of our recording.
You did sound like something very important happened.
It was so Destiny has these big missions called raids. They take 6 people. They're puzzly and complicated. They're very fun to do, and I've never gotten to do a raid the day it came out. The race for first to complete, the day 1 clear, it's a big thing I've never gotten to participate in. And when they announced the day 1 of the raid, one of my reliable team members was like, I have a wedding that day. And I was like, motherfucker, that sucks. So we were going to do it today. And then base 2 people were like, can't do today. And we're like, shit. So we pushed it off to next week. So I wake up yesterday morning and I'm like, I feel real butthurt that I don't get to raid today because of a wedding. I mean, people have made the obligations that they have made. They are right to follow through on them. I have no judgments for them. But I personally don't give a shit about weddings. So for me, I'm like, this is dumb, man. I got real grumpy. That I'm suffering because of a thing I don't care about. It wasn't suffering. It was complaining. I keep myself in perspective. But I woke up and then Destiny has a new looking for group tool. I found a fire team and I jumped into the raid at launch on day 1. I got to try it. Did not beat it. It's very difficult and very long. It was so much fun though. I'm so glad I got to do it. I'm always nervous of looking for groups because historically my experience with finding groups like that is I finally find a group that is like, yeah, sure, join our fire team. And then I get on the mic and I'm like, okay, let's do this. And the person talking back to me is like, all right, let me ask my dad if I can do this. And I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Actually, my best LFG experience beforehand was raiding with a group of 12-year-olds and they got their dad in and those kids sucked, but their dad was awesome. That guy kicked ass.
Oh, it's amazing.
But yesterday it was just matched up with 5 other people, had so much fun, and now next weekend I'm going to do it with all my friends and we're going to clear it, and I'm trying to stay spoiler free. But that was I had to jump on that opportunity because I'm probably not going to get that chance again for at least another year. And hopefully next time nobody will get married. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
But yeah,
start spreading the rumors around months in advance.
Yeah,
make sure that no one's getting married on your watch.
Did you hear what she said about him? No, this has nothing to do with Destiny Lightfall. Shut up. But it was really nice. After
that's so great.
Yeah, I've been so tired, and once again, I haven't been in a particularly bad headspace, generally speaking. But looking back on February, it is just, man, I was just sick the whole month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just sort of business as usual. And I got back on my workout game after COVID, and I got sick again. And I got back on my workout game again today. And man, the first day back to working out sucks. You have told me this. Yeah. And I was like, I'm sure it's bad, but
it sucks.
I did it twice in 2 weeks and I hate it, man. Let me stay in the routine.
Yeah, well, good luck. I hope you were able to.
Oh, I did. But
you're done just getting sick.
It's why I'm so tired. Well, yeah. I mean, you and I have discussed what I believe to be the source of the illness off microphone. And I'm going to take steps to insulate myself from this potential source of illness, which is a luxury I have. And based on your story of just like, oh yeah, hey Colin, Ellie just threw up all over herself. Doesn't that suck? And then 2 days later, you're like, everyone in my house is dying.
I'm glad that we didn't get it all at the exact same time, but yeah,
that'd be rough.
It was not fun.
Yeah, you don't need 3 call-outs on the same day when you have a staff of 3 or 4. Yeah. Sorry, Maria.
Yeah, Maria also got it. Our nanny. It was pretty bad.
Big yikes.
It was pretty bad.
Big yikes.
Yeah.
Aside from your trip to Connecticut, have you taken any other personal time, any personal projects or relaxation
not
adventures?
Really.
Okay.
But next weekend, Charles and I are dropping Ellie off with my father-in-law, and we are taking a 3-day weekend to ourselves, which is really lovely.
Hell yeah.
And then April 1st, we're going to a wedding in Pittsburgh. So again, we're dropping off the baby. That one will probably be a little bit less relaxing because we have to drive 6 hours to get there.
Yeah. And I mean, it's also, it seems like much more of a social obligation than going and relaxing for 3 days with literally nobody else.
Yeah.
Like this is not.
And I'm sure it'll be lovely, but
yeah, no, it's. I think that when you really care about this is coming on the heels of me saying I don't care about weddings as a thing. That is still true. But that one summer I went to your wedding and Jesse's wedding back to back, and it's like when you care about the person or people involved,
it really helps.
If it was just like a sort of a drive-by thing where I like showed up and you said hi, Colin, and then I didn't see you the rest of the time, I think I would have been like, this was dumb.
I drove 2 hours for this.
I drove 2 hours and did very little else to prepare. Oops. But no, that sounds like it'll be very nice, if less relaxing than an actual vacation, which I'm pretty excited for you.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that too. And we have vacation in May again. We took a week off in May.
Ooh. Do you feel like sharing the plans for May? What's going on then?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to share if I actually had any. We just took the week. Time, but not the vacation.
Yeah, you'll fill it in later. That's fine.
Yeah. I think we were talking, so part of the discussion is like, are we bringing Ellie? Are we going on like a 3-person vacation? Or are we going to see if somebody can watch her? We're not 100% sure yet.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to try to go to Cape Cod.
Nice.
Just like stay in a little place.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rebecca takes her kids there every once in a while. And this year she was like, hey, Colin, are you interested in going to Cape Cod? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I like you. I like the kids. She's like, my family will also be there. And then I said, see you in hell. And I moved out.
Nice.
No, I especially given, like, I don't know, the family-in-law situation and my general aversion to meeting other people, I have decided to just stay away from that for my own sake.
Yeah.
And she never pushes it, so I have to assume, like, she's never like, come on, you never want to meet my family. She's never like that. She's always like, do you want to? And then I'm like, no. And then she drops it, so I'm like, on some level, she's also not that keen for it to happen, and I'm kind of super fine with that.
Yeah.
But that's super awesome. You got 2 vacays in.
Yeah, I got a pretty planned up.
I always end up not planning anything and then just blowing all my PTO at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And we're
trying to be better at like having things planned so that we have things to look forward to.
Yeah. Let me know if you figure out how to do that, because I sure haven't. I got to put some thought into it.
One thing that helps is that Charles like kind of has to put in his time like 6 months in advance.
Yeah.
So we'll sit down at the beginning of the year and plan out our first 6 months, and then we'll sit down for like end of Q2 or whatever. Sign out the second half of the year.
Uh-huh. I guess I should do that, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But one thing actually, we'll talk about this off mic, but I will be getting a little bit more vacation time, which is lovely.
Yeah, okay. My eyebrows are furrowed, and I'm very interested to see what that's going to be, but I'm going to have to wait however long this recording is to hear. That's, I don't know. I feel like my work is going to tick up a bit this month. And I really should start looking now to like plan a week off or time off. I don't know. I think part of my problem is I'm never like, I want to go do this thing. Yeah. I don't have things I want to go do. And this infuriates anyone that tries to plan a trip with me. They're like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't care. You make the agenda. I'll follow it. Because like, of course, if you let me choose what the vacation is going to be, like Laura, if you and I went on like a friend's trip together for like a week and you let me plan any of the itinerary and you were like, whatever you say goes, you will be miserable. You will have a bad time.
That's true.
Because,
I imagine it would be a lot of sitting around playing video games in a single location.
Okay, yes. I don't, yes.
New background. That's all you really need.
Yeah. I just need a new Zoom background for my meetings. Okay, maybe you specifically wouldn't be miserable, but the people that want to go, like, when people say vacation, they mean, I want to see a new mountain or a new big hole or a new big house or eat a new big food. And I'm just like, I want to do the same medium stuff next to new big hole. That's fine.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. My current state of vacation is I just would like to have zero responsibility at any given time.
Yeah.
Which also involves not having plans because then you have to get somewhere on time.
That's true. If you overplan the vacation, it's just a new responsibility. Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
I tend to agree. I think I've just worked very hard to craft my daily life to like have these windows of no responsibility. So whenever, like, if I'm like busy, I'm like, man, I gotta need a vacation. But then when I spend 3 hours at night just sitting here scrolling through YouTube and playing Xbox, I'm just like, do I really need a vacation? I think I'm fine, but like, I don't have like a solid middle ground where I can analyze it. And so I just keep having that fleeting thought at the wrong time and not doing anything with it.
Yeah. I mean, you could just take time off of work and then just not work.
I could. When I do that without a plan, though, you know how you said you had your 2 overnights and it throws your whole sleep schedule into chaos? Yeah. That's what happens. Because the good news about the COVID thing is in New York State, companies have to give you time off for it. So I did get an unexpected week off due to COVID, which the break was lovely. I should have taken it a week earlier because the first week is when I was sleepy. So I did fall asleep at work several times. Probably should have taken the time off when that was happening. Oopsie. But because it was so unstructured, I've actually started making myself a to-do list for the next day every day to give myself not just a sense of structure, but like a sense of accomplishment. Because I was obviously so physically tired, I couldn't do anything. So I made a list of like 8 things. And if I'm like, I feel like such a lazy, garbage bag, I look at the list, I'm like, oh, I actually did a lot today.
There you go.
So that's just
I just don't have
problem.
that. Yeah, I don't have that problem where Charles is exactly like that too. Where if he's sick, he feels like he has extra time at home and he should like do responsibility things. Yeah. And when I'm sick, I say, I'm gonna go sleep for 24 hours now, and then I do that. Yeah.
I know I should be like Laura in this case, but my brain goes to Charles, and it's not even like a guilty thing. Like I don't feel like bad for being sick. Whenever I'm sick, I'm like, oh, I'm sick, just got to take precautions. But given that I've become like so organized and self-directed, it's not that I feel bad for being sick or anything, but like the sickness stops the feeling of success.
Right.
Like it just cuts that flow off. So I was like, I need to find a way to keep tricking my brain into thinking I'm doing a good job. But it's become a nice little organizational tool. I will say that yesterday in particular, my list did not get accomplished for reasons we have already discussed. But but I'm doing them today because I think after this episode comes out tomorrow, so as soon as we're off the horn, I'm probably gonna go and splice it together.
That sounds great. I'm fine. I'm super.
I mean, yeah, I'll just probably throw it on. I'm gonna try to not play as many games this week just because I have burnt myself out a little on new games and new stuff. Like I tried Elden Ring for 90 minutes and then I got a refund.
Not your jam.
Not my jam. Man, I can enjoy a good Souls-like game, but I've never enjoyed a Dark Souls game specifically. They made Sekiro, I don't know how it should be pronounced. And that one is a little more actiony, but it's still like that same very like timing-based, very difficult combat. And I had such a good time with that game. And then everyone's like Elden Ring. Like this is Laura, I don't know if you know this.
It's like the game.
It is the game. It is the highest rated game of all time behind Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
It is right there. So I was like, oh, fucking sweet. Another game from these guys that isn't Dark Souls and I could get into. Laura, it's fucking Dark Souls. It's Dark Souls. It's just Dark Souls. And as soon as I started playing it, I was like, I don't like this. It is, I don't like looking at it. I don't like how it feels. I don't like the movement.
I'm surprised you don't like looking at it. It does look nice.
I think it is hideous. I do not enjoy it. Wow. I think it is an unattractive game. I can't stand looking at it. And all that on top of the fact that like dark fantasy just kind of doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
So that's the first time I've ever requested a refund for an Xbox game through a digital sale. The first time it ever happened, that was instantly, I was like, at first I thought like I could power through it and try to find the stuff I like. I'm like, no, there's so much baseline that I can't stand about this game that,
Do you want to know my only Xbox digital refund story?
Yeah.
Have I told you this?
No, you haven't. Hit me.
There was a couple years ago, I was sitting around, and I was like, Charles, I think I really want to play Skyrim. And he was like,
oh,
okay.
No.
And I was like, yeah, like, I don't know, I just really feeling it. He was like, okay. I was like, super cheap on Xbox. Like, I may as well just get it. So I bought Skyrim. I spent like 2 hours doing the thing you do, which is making your own character. And then I loaded it in. And I got to the point where the dragon flies over, my whole Xbox crashed, and then I never played it again. So I literally didn't even, like, I think maybe I looked around with the left thumbstick, and that was it. I was like, I'm good.
I think once you get through there's some about that. I spent a lot of time in the Elden Ring character creator. I made a terrible abomination called Skip Bop that I was like, this is a very fun thing. But like, yeah, as soon as I got in the game, like the character creation falls away. I'm glad you got to complete the character because that is like maybe one of the best parts of any Elder Scrolls game experience. And if you stop there, I think you got a good one. I think you got what you needed. It
really worked for me.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's also nice. I've done that before. What was it? Anthem, which is like a notoriously terrible game that feels great, but there's just nothing to do. Where I when it went on Game Pass, I tried the 2-hour tutorial. I was like, I had such a good time with this. I'm going to put it down now and I'm never going to touch it again. And I'm only going to have this very limited positive experience. And I feel like that's what you did with Skyrim.
Yeah. It was exactly what I needed.
Yeah.
Because, like, I played Skyrim very minimally when I was in college. And, like, I enjoyed my time. Like, I had a really fun time. But I remember getting stuck. Like, I was trying to follow some main quest or whatever it was, like, over a mountain pass. And it was, like, through a thieves area or whatever, or abandoned camp. And I couldn't do it. And, like, you know, obviously, I think now looking back, there were probably 7,000 ways around that mountain, but like that was like the fastest way, and I was just so annoyed that I couldn't go the fastest way that I just stopped playing.
Yep, I feel that. I remember the game before Skyrim was Oblivion, and I first played that when I was like a young teen, like 12, 13 or something like that. I don't know, but I remember it was before I'd been super exposed to RPGs as a video game genre. So I didn't really understand the scope of the game. And I mean, you've played Skyrim, you've played Breath of the Wild, you've played other stuff. So imagine this situation. I buy this game, stick it in my console, I beat the main quest, and then I say, that was a great game. And then I traded it in, not realizing there were a billion other things I could do.
Oh, you did tell me that one time. That's so
and it
funny.
was such a good experience, though. Like, I had a lot of fun with the game. But
That's
then,
all you need.
but then when I realized how much there was to do, I was like, I need to go buy it again. At this point, I think I've bought Oblivion like 4 or 5 times between consoles and versions and expansions.
Yeah.
But
well,
yeah,
if it keeps on giving, then it keeps on being worth it.
It does, and hey, that's why Elder Scrolls Bethesda keeps re-releasing Skyrim every 2 years, keeps on giving.
Yep.
But the other game that I did download Cyberpunk, and I think I'm going to do some stuff with Dice Populi community where we do a group thing where they like tell me what to do and I do it. But the other game I've been playing a lot of, and I know Charles returned it, Dying Light 2, man, it's just...
I told him, and he said he was probably going to buy it again later.
It's stupid fun. Like,
yeah.
I don't usually advocate for just skipping the story, but I blow through the story bits, and then I just run around and hit zombies and jump on buildings, and it is...
Yeah. I mean, that's the point, I feel like that's the point.
It's great. It's really fun. But I haven't touched it in a bit because, Destiny.
Yeah. I did purchase and download Horizon Zero Dawn on my PlayStation 5, but I have not turned it on yet.
I hear Forbidden West is enormous, so I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn will last you a long time if you chip away at it, and then Forbidden West may last you until you die.
The rest of my life.
Yeah, yes, for literally ever. Horizon Forever West. Nailed it.
Nailed it. Sorry, I was merging into
You're fine. I'm also trying to, because I'm so tired, I'm trying to get ahead and take notes on what we're talking about as we're talking about it instead of during the edit. But Laura, here's a fun thing about my brain. It doesn't do so good listening and talking and taking notes all at once. It does a bad job. I have so many, for like Dice Populi, we do role-playing stuff and recording, and I have to organize shit. I don't know how many, I try to be a really organized person. I have so many notes that are Dice Populi, this episode notes, 2 empty bullet points, and that's it. Because, I sit down with the intention of documenting the session, and I can't. I just can't focus on it. I have a hard limit there. It's not a skill I have.
So what is the benefit of taking notes?
Pre-edit. It's just less work to do later. And we post show notes for this podcast so that, if we mention something off the cuff, someone can go look at it and say, oh, that's the thing they were talking about. And then go look it up. With Dice Populi, it's because I need to remember story details and help plan things. That's a lot more obvious.
I get the notes on Dice Populi.
Yeah, but for this one, it's just it's easier to have it already. So I'm trying to do this now. I don't know how it's going to go because right now I have just typed Horizon Forbidden.
Nice. That sounds like really
that's it. That is both wrong and incomplete. So I don't know, man. Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon Forbidden West. Okay. Yeah. This is another one of those months where I feel like the month felt like a lot, but nothing big happened.
Well, it's because we both just spent this whole time being sick.
That's true.
Very time-consuming, but not exactly exciting to talk about.
Yeah, it fucking sucks. I mean, now that I understand the timeline, I'm still frustrated that COVID lasted me over 3 weeks. It's just obnoxious more than anything. But I do have some fun stuff happening this week, which is I have over the last 2 years slowly been upgrading my whole setup. And so this week I have a bunch of stuff coming, including a new desk that is much larger.
Nice.
I have a triple arm mount to hold 3 monitors and a bus to allow me to connect 3 monitors easily.
Is it a Magic School Bus? Because I'm really into all of that right now.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ!
Hey.
It took me a second. I do have a lot. Wait, are we talking about Magic School Bus or Magic School Bus Rides Again? Both. Okay. I've only seen one episode of Magic School Bus Rides Again, whereas the original Magic School Bus is, if you look closely, in my DNA. So I don't know. I think just the newer, flatter animation style bumped me at first, but really it was just that I didn't have time to watch a new kids show. when it came out.
That's very reasonable.
How is
I will
it?
say, if you're a parent, I don't think you as an individual might get that much out of it, but it's really good.
Okay.
I really enjoy it. Charles actually is full on, no questions asked, thinks it's better than the original.
Really?
In every way.
I mean, he's not like deeply personally wounded that it's not Lily Tomlin as Miss Frizzle?
No, because she's Miss Frizzle, or she's Professor Frizzle PhD, and she's in every episode.
Wait, she's in every episode? I thought it was going to be, I thought she was going to be like in the one episode, and then it's like, here you go, Kate McKinnon, bye!
She's the one, at the end of every episode, they do like the questions like the producer does in the first one, and like the whatever. She answers all the questions at the very end of the episode, so people call her, and she's Professor Frizzle, PhD.
Oh, man! What?
Yeah, they really did a good job. They really did a good job.
Laura, I think you just got me to watch the Magic School Bus rides again. Shit!
Yeah, they did. It's really actually fantastic. It's super fun.
The theme song
legitimately learn things. The theme song is way better. They like really upgraded it very well.
I don't know about okay. I don't remember what the Rides Again version is, but I was about to say the original Magic School Bus theme, like I fucking sing that maybe a couple times. That's one of those songs that's like always in the rotation of my horrible stuck in my head jukebox.
Yeah. The new one is the old one. They just like zhuzhed it up.
Yeah. That's
like it's the same song, it's the same beat. They just like made it more of a catch. Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah, that's kind of what they did with How I Met Your Father.
Yeah.
Theme.
I did watch 13 minutes of the first episode.
I wish I could be more excited about it. Here's the thing. The original How I Met Your Mother, first season, honestly not great. Like whenever I go back to rewatch How I Met Your Mother, I skip like 8 episode chunks of the first season.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if this is not a great first season, that's fine. There's something about the vibe and the heart that's there. But now I'm like 8 episodes in and I'm like, all right, I'm waiting for this to pop off and it's not happening yet. I'm giving you guys a fair shake.
Yeah, I'm like 10 minutes in and I just kind of gave up on it.
No, it's
not because it was like bad. It's just like, I don't know. I have other things to do with my time.
Yeah, no, it did not make a great case for itself. I will say that, you know, the original twist for the first episode of How I Met Your Mother is like, you think he's telling the story about meeting the mother, and he's like, and that's how I met your Aunt Robin. And the kids are like, bong? What?
Yeah.
This does not repeat that twist. It does its own kind of thing. And I think it's good and interesting. But the individual episodes just aren't some of them are like hit connecting in a way, but like, here's what else. I said this to one of my friends. It doesn't have Barney. And that's a problem. Because
you need a Barney.
You need not a replication of Barney, not a successor to Barney, but you need someone whose energy is in a different place and on a different level that changes the baseline of the show. And it doesn't have that. Imagine if instead of Barney, you had like someone in between Marshall and Ted. Like they're goofy, but it's just a goofy sitcom. And Barney did like Neil Patrick Harris as Barney did not act like he was in a sitcom.
No.
Something about How I Met Your Father, Barney Stinson. He elevated. There's nobody in the show that like pushes it to that level. So I don't know what's going to happen. But I love Hilary Duff. I think she's great in it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Weirdly, though, Josh Peck from, loved him in Drake and Josh when I was a kid. It's just the flattest fucking person ever. I cannot understand the subdued nature of this performance. This is weird. This is one of the people who's famous for the line, "I do not control the speed at which lobsters die." And I'm getting none of that energy. But...
That's disappointing. Do you think someone blackmailed him doing it?
Yeah, it was Oprah because he ran her over in Drake and Josh. There is at least one other show that I want to mention. Star Trek Picard.
Picard or Discovery?
Star Trek Picard.
Star Trek Picard.
We have seen one episode of Star Trek Picard at this point. Season 2 has just premiered.
Yes.
So I guess we've seen one season and one episode. Might be. It was really good, right? Like I'm not crazy. That was like a really good episode of TV, right?
I was listening to The Greatest Discovery on like just before you called, and I was surprised that Ben actually didn't really like it on his first watch.
Yeah, no,
We spent a long time talking about them.
I was also surprised at that. Me and my close personal friend Ben Harrison.
Right.
They do that on their show all the time where they call people friend of the pod when they've like talked to them once. So I'm gonna start doing that. So friend of the pod, Ben Harrison.
Yeah.
If he gets mad at me, I can say it was his bit, but then he'll get mad at me for stealing his bit. This is a bad idea. Friend of the pod, Ben Harrison. Yeah, I was surprised that like they were a little more middling towards it. Not because like there aren't things to dislike about the episode, but because the stuff that they were citing were things that I was like, I thought that was fucking rad. What are you talking about? But I went in.
No, but I really liked it.
Yeah,
I went in very skeptical, which actually might have been why I enjoyed it so much. I had pretty low expectations because there's the whole thing about being like a time travel season, and like if you don't do that right, it's just going to be such a nightmare. I just thought that they did a really fun first episode that I'm like actually interested in the story that they're about to tell.
I agree for sure. It was one of those things where I like before a trailer for the season came out, I was like, you know what? We haven't done a go back to the past and have a big fucking zany adventure in Star Trek in a long time. And then the trailer came out that day and I was like, okay, I'm on board. Cool. But I felt so excited during the trailer, and as soon as it ended, I went back to like, I don't know. I think the last episode of Picard season 1 fumbled so many interesting things that like I was just, I don't know how they're gonna do.
Yeah, they just were like, oh, we'll just fast forward a year and a half. This will be fine.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that was the right call. It helped. It helped 100%. A lot to distance themselves from the end of the first season. I still think the first season is great overall, but like that ending really did not the ending, but like just the unfolding of those last 2 episodes just felt.
Yeah,
really
very
rugged.
Out of place. Yeah.
But this is a good start. Q coming back. Like, it's been a while since I've been scared of Q. John Delancey reprising this performance. He is playing him with like a real sinister bend.
Yeah.
And that could be something where like, oh, he's playing him scary, but I don't know what it is about his intensity as an actor, but it is like,
he's fantastic.
It is actually kind of scary to me. Not like in that, oh, I'm afraid, but like, I'm caught up in it.
Oh man, what has he planned here?
I at first I wanted to pin my my positive feelings towards it on my low, or I guess just reserved expectations. But the truth is, I wasn't thinking about my expectations when I was watching it. It was so kinetic and fast, but the moments that needed to breathe had the time to breathe. Like, all my expectations fell away, and I was just watching the show. And it's been a long time since I, like, sunk into something like that.
Yeah.
I think, like, usually I'm coming in with some sort of thought that is informing how I'm watching it. But I don't know. It totally disarmed me.
Swept you off your feet?
Yeah. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I also liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I really did.
I'm glad that we have, like, that and Severance to talk about. Also,
yes. Oh man, I really can't. Oh, did you throw Ollie on the floor, sweetheart? I'm sorry. It's going to be like an hour before you can get him again.
You need to look at him.
I know, buddy.
You need to watch him for a whole hour and understand what you've done to Ollie down on the floor.
I know, baby. Yeah, she, on our way out, we drove at nap time. This is very uncomfortable. I do have to take this phone call. Hold on. Can I call you back in 5?
Yeah, go for it.
Actually, can you call me back in 5?
Yeah, I'll call you back in 5.
Okay, thanks. Wait. Bye.
And we're back.
Yes. Thank you for the pause.
Yeah, no problem. How much more driving you got?
An hour.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Oh, man. Oh, man, indeed.
Yeah. Do you have
be on the road a bit.
Yeah. Do you have any plans beyond just going home and like making food and relaxing?
Nope. That's the plan.
I love it.
Yeah. Charles and my father-in-law are actually working in the basement today.
Oh, they're doing that now? That's awesome.
Yeah, with 2 of, because my father-in-law owns like a construction business, basically. And so he's got 2 of his guys there today helping them like reframe part of the basement. So they're like going really hard. It's going to be totally different down there.
That's awesome. Is it going to be like done when you get back, like half fun weekend surprise, or is it going to be?
No. It'll be. So we have to get apparently an electrician in to run some power outlets based on how they frame the walls and where they want that to go. And then they can sheetrock and actually put everything else in.
Fun.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. That may not sound like me. I kind of like home projects like that. I like building stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
I kind of wish I was in on the action, but I'm like excited. It feels really cool because this is the first like major thing we've done to the house besides like carpet and paint.
Yeah.
But it feels really cool to be like putting money and effort into our house to like make it better. I don't know. It's cool.
That is like a big part of the homeowning experience for a lot of people. Buy it, up it, like make it nice, and then sell it again.
Yeah.
And then someone else. Yeah. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. It's exciting. It's exciting.
You'll have to let me know if that feeling of pride in house pans out, or if like, and you don't have to tell them, but like if they do a bad job, like you can tell me. I won't. I won't judge. I feel like that might affect things.
They tried to kind of tell me what they were working on and like what was going to be done. Yes, dear. Yeah, my love. I love you. She's done. She's done being in the car. So we have an hour left.
Oh, well, at least she knows to let you know that she's done.
Yeah. You know, so the call that I just took was my mom. And I was telling her that we were not going to stop at the house, but I'm now thinking maybe we should stop in the house because it is a 5-minute detour.
Yeah, I can hear the small child fighting against her restraints.
Not happy. Yes.
Yep. Oh boy. Yeah, get out and stretch her little toddler legs.
Yeah, she's got those little toddler legs to go run.
Are you still in an area with snow?
Not that I can see.
Okay.
But I'm also next to the highway right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, I wish I could say it was a high stakes decision, but it's
not really.
Not particularly. I mean, I'm not saying it's not an important decision, but the worst case is that she will grunt a little bit more for the next 60 minutes, and then as soon as you get her home, she'll be exactly the way she was if you had her stop at her mom's.
Yeah. Unless she pooped.
Okay, that's true. I didn't consider this. That is a tremendously high-stakes situation for you. I'm so sorry for downplaying the severity of your situation. This is a crisis.
She actually does not yet poop today, so there's a real chance that she just did.
Okay. I mean, I feel like you'll know pretty soon.
With my parents, it's like such a longer. Like, we're not going to be home until so much later.
Yeah, because it's not just going to be like stop for 10 minutes. It's probably going to be a 1 to 2 hour thing, and you have to get back in the car and get back in the driving headspace. Like, you won't be home for probably 3 hours.
I also have to pee, right? And, you know, it's always good to see your parents, you know?
I mean, if Ellie can poop in the car, why can't you pee in the car?
You know, that's a great question. The answer is diapers.
Okay. I thought you said you were getting ready for a long drive. What were you doing this whole time?
Oh, man. Not diapering up. Clearly a mistake.
Oh, man. What's the zero barrier for making this decision? How long do you have before you're past, like, the way to get to your parents?
15 minutes.
Okay. You got time. I may disconnect before then because of some work stuff that is going to have to get taken care of. But I'm so tired that I just don't know how it's going to go. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we can stop recording if you'd like. That way you have a shorter edit. Because we have, I think, cumulatively spoken for at least quite some time at this point. At least quite some time is really a relative, specific amount of time.
It helps a lot when I'm trying to edit things in a very particular way that I know how many amounts of times I have.
Yes, quite.
I do enjoy keeping talking, but on the other hand, I feel like I don't have a whole lot more to say right now just because I am so out of it.
Yeah.
Like maybe tomorrow when the sick brain fog clears, or I don't know what it is. I didn't do a long workout today, but it kicked my ass. Again, first day back. So I don't know, man. I'm trying really hard to think of interesting things to say, but it's one of those moments where I just have to accept that I'm not an interesting person. So
yes, I think that's a good thing to. That's clearly the answer.
There are several people who would agree with that sentiment, I am sure.
That does remind me of a Magic School Bus Rides Again moment.
Okay.
Where Arnold, something happens, and Arnold was like, I just saw my light flash before my eyes, and it was far more interesting than it should be.
That's what this podcast should be, is the last month of our lives flash before our eyes. But I'm so much like it. This is one of those instances where I'm like, wow, nothing happened. I just felt bad the whole time. The entire time. It also doesn't help that the thing that has brought me joy is a video game that is just like, there's no fun way to explain it. When I finished raiding yesterday, I went to try and explain bits of it to Rebecca, and she's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, it's not worth it, because even if I do explain it, it's just not gonna click. What I will say this, I am nervous for doing this with my friends this weekend, because there needs to be a lot of communication, and specifically, there are like 25 little pictures, and you need to tell other people what pictures you see.
Oh, jeez.
And you have to do it with a lot of them really fast. So in team-based gaming, it's good to have call-outs for specific places or guns or images.
Right.
So that you can communicate with like shorthand. I think the reason it took me and the randos a bunch of time yesterday was it took us maybe an hour to an hour and a half to figure out our call-outs for all this shit. And now I have those in my head, and I'm going to go in and not spoil the raid for my friends. And I'm going to have to sit and suffer through them trying to come up with call-outs again for like another hour plus. And I am not stoked for it. I am probably going to study what the internet has decided the best call-outs are. And if they get confused, I'm like, all right, guys, no, I can't do this. Abort. You need to just, here's a list. Read these, please. I can't listen to you say, is that more of like a red snake or like a white squiggle on a red flag? I don't know.
Oh my God.
And that, I'm not kidding. Those are the conversations like this. It's like a black smudge. And I'm like, it's the heart of the black garden. They're like, but it's a black smudge. And I'm like, what color is the background? Blue? You mean teal? No, it's blue.
Oh,
and there
man,
there are 25 of these things, and you're trying to do this while you're getting shot at.
Right. Why do you make this again?
That's a good fucking question. Because the raids are really, really fun when you pull them off. And the community has been, over the last 2 weeks, there are these other icons that have been in the games for years, like a set of 9 runic glyphs that are mysterious and whatever. And people have been arguing over the call outs for those over the last 2 weeks. And I'm just like, that was a very puny argument compared to like this like college entry level art class wall gallery of call outs we need to memorize for this.
Amazing.
So we didn't expect it to be that complicated. That's the answer. Is I like rating, but this one was tricky.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, that was a non-zero. That was like a pretty significant part of my brain power spent yesterday, was memorizing tiny pictures and what the other people want. And there were some where people just couldn't agree. Yeah. And like everyone would say their own thing for it. And I'm like, this is not helpful.
Miserable. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, hopefully having a group of actual friends together might help that a little bit.
Yeah, and also
or make
like,
it way worse. Who knows?
Maybe it could get really heated if we don't agree on which squiggly is which. It's it's fun. I mean, that is the only thing I'm worried about. Otherwise, I'm just like, I hope nobody quits. It's probably going to take us like 12 hours to do it, so we'll see.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so many hours.
It is. I mean, they're tough. I think the first completion of it took over 7. That was the fastest. That was the fastest first run, was just over 7 hours. Even the people that work on the game are tweeting like, "Yep, played till 2 a.m, didn't finish."
Yeah.
And I'm like, what chance do we have?
Yeah.
But they really, it is a fun and unique experience. And as the last 3 minutes have exemplified, not fun to explain to people. So
the important thing is it's fun to play.
It is.
Speaking of things that are fun to play, I got to play a board game last night for the first time in quite a while.
Hell yeah, what'd you play?
And I don't remember if we played, I don't think you and I have played this, but Charles and I have several times. It's called Terraforming Mars.
I think you've told me about this, but I haven't touched it.
Game. No, it is not cooperative. Charles and I play a lot of cooperative games because that's just easier on being married.
Yeah.
5
Monopolies later, and we're in divorce court.
Yeah, we don't want that. But we have several. We have like a handful of competitive games that we really like. Seven Wonders Duel is up there for me. I don't know if Charles likes it as much as I do, but I love that game. It's so fun. But it's called Terraforming Mars. And the cool thing is it's not, like, you're not directly competing with the other person per se. Mm-hmm. But at the beginning of the game, there's like a ton of corporations that you can choose from. They give you different abilities and like amounts of money that you make. Mm-hmm. And you choose from one of two of them. And then however many people are playing, the idea is that you're trying to colonize Mars. Uh-huh. So you have to raise the temperature level, and you have to increase the oxygen, and you have to like put oceans down for water. And then there's just like a ton of stuff that you can do, like growing microbes and having animals, but a lot of it is like mining. Uh-huh. And there's just a ton of like that kind of deal. And it's a card-based game. So you're drawing cards, and then you have to like pay for the cards, and then basically,
I love playing those kinds of strategy games. How does it feel as a board game?
It's a great board game. It feels so. I will say, like, the three of us had played it multiple times before, and so we were like, okay, let's just play it. Like, we're good to go. And then we opened up the board game and were putting things down. We were like, we don't remember any of the rules. And there were some that were like a little bit complicated. Like there's a mechanic where, because Terraforming Mars is going to take a long time, there's something called generations. Mm-hmm. And I think last night was actually the first time I played the generations piece properly. Mm-hmm. Where the idea is you only gain your production like once a generation. And there's a couple things you can only do once a generation. And your generation turn is basically like how many times can you play your actions.
Okay, so that seems like a pretty big bottleneck that you just didn't use for a long time.
Yeah, it's not as much of a bottleneck as it sounds, because honestly, like most of the time when you run out of things to do, like so does everybody else. Like there's not a ton of money going around.
Okay.
Like you're making more. But it does kind of make it a little bit more interesting if you have something that's like fairly low cost and you have a couple things that you can do like once a generation that are just extra. Like you have the ability to do this. So, but it was really fun. It's a really fun game, and I did not focus nearly enough on the actual terraforming part of it, so I lost quite badly.
Wait, like, did you both lose because of your focus, or did somehow you lose and he didn't?
No, so we were playing with 3 people.
Okay.
And you basically, like at the end of it, you count up all your victory points, and they come from different areas. So you can either get victory points from your, what's it called, your terraforming rating. So that's kind of your base score. And then you can get victory points based on the cards that you've placed, but you can also get them based on how many plants you've planted. So like one of the options is placing greenery tiles. And then how many cities you've built on Mars, and then the cities are surrounded by plants, and so like your city is worth however many plants you surrounded it with. And I built 1 city the entire game, which was,
that doesn't seem like a big number.
It was not. I mean, the most was like 4. I think Eric had 4 cities and Mia had 3 and I had 1. So it's not like it was off by a ton. But if you're surrounding each of those cities with like plants, it's a hexagonal tile situation. So there's,
So it is a cooperative game, but at the end, it sounds like it could get a little competitive.
It's not a cooperative game. You're each working in the interest of your corporation.
Oh, did you name yourselves like SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Virgin? Because that would have been really role play as the Tri CEOs. Okay.
You get your own corporations going.
This is Laura Mars. That does sound fun.
Yeah. It's fun.
I love sitting
really
down.
I have well past the opportunity to stop with my parents, and Ellie is really sick of being in the car.
I just heard her grumble a few times.
Yeah, I get it, dude.
It's okay, Ellie. Ollie will forgive you. I mean, no, it can't, but that's fine. She doesn't have to know that yet. I fucking love sitting down and playing board games every time I do it, but it's just not where like I invest my time and money. And the friends that owned all the board games in my life don't live. Yeah, we don't live near each other anymore. So I just haven't played a board game in a long ass time. And
they're
I'm a little
super fun.
jealous. That sounds like a good ass time.
Yeah, and like that's kind of my plan for the 3-day weekend. Charles and I are going to pick a couple games, and we're planning on just basically locking ourselves in our room and playing board games for like 2 days straight.
Nice. That sounds
very excited.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
When you tell the story of it and you leave out all the married sexy bits, I will pretend that they didn't happen either, and that it was just regular 13 and up board game experiences. Yeah. That's all 100%. It was. All of the pieces are in the same condition as when you started. It's fine.
It's fine.
Oh, man.
Listen, that's my buddy.
Wait, by that, do you mean Ellie? Okay, good. My mind was still in the context of the joke I just made, and I was pretty concerned. On this note, though, I am going to actually disconnect because, like I said, I have to take care of some stuff here.
Makes sense.
I sincerely hope that Ellie did not poop and that the next hour of your drive is a fine one with no incident.
Nice. Thanks so much. I'm now gauging how much stress it's going to give me to not get out of the car versus getting out of the car. And the answer is, I don't know. Anyway, yes.
Is this a decision where you need some assistance, or is it just something that you're going to sit in until it solves itself?
No, I'm just going to sit in. So right now, I cannot easily get out of the car. So we're not going to do that. But if I pass an exit where there's a rest stop or whatever. Yeah. There's no rest stops on the way home, so I really have to stop at 39 minutes, dude. Can I make it?
I think you can make it.
I think I can.
I have faith in you. You can do it. You're tough. You're a tough lady.
Real stressful. This is better than when she was little, though, because as soon as you put her in the car seat when she was between 0 and 8 months old, she just screamed the entire time. So this is better.
It is better. I am kind of surprised she's not asleep. I would when I was very young, dude, 3, 4, I was like, this is nap time. What are you talking about?
I have the only child in the universe that doesn't sleep in the car. Let me tell you. Sucks.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
You're the biggest sleep enthusiast I know, too. How did she not inherit that?
Yeah, I don't really know. I drove during nap time yesterday. It's a 2-hour drive. And so I was like, hopefully she'll nap for at least an hour. 30 minutes. That was it.
Jeez.
And she woke up at 5:50 this morning and didn't go back to sleep.
Ugh.
And then had a 45-minute nap today. So I was really hoping she would fall back asleep in the car. She is not.
No, she has decided what her day is going to be, and this is it. This is it.
Ellie, I love you more than anything under the sun, okay? You're my absolute favorite. We are not going to stop. I'm so sorry, beautiful.
It's okay. You've got 38 minutes. Just look at Ollie. Think about what you've done. She did not like that joke at all. Oh, my God. Okay.
It depends on if this escalates, I might have to pull over a bit.
Yeah, that's fair. I at once feel guilty for leaving you at this time of crisis, but also selfishly grateful.
Yep. Nope. This is the time to do it. You made it.
Have a safe drive home. Take very good care. We'll catch up soon, I am sure.
Yeah.
You got to tell me the secret. I don't even remember what the secret is about. You told me about a secret. Hold on. Goodbye, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Blah, blah, blah. Ending the episode. Bye.
Bye. See you later.
How You Doing is a Common Geeking program production. Starring Laura Becker and Colin Ketchen, with editing and original music by Colin. You can see and hear more at the website podfriend.pizza, or follow HousePod on Instagram for a real-life look at their friendship. If you enjoy the show, spread the love. Tell a friend, share your favorite episodes, and remember to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Colin and Laura will talk to you again on the first Monday of every month. Thanks for listening. Talk to you soon.
Common